Okay, happy Tuesday. We're at the end of the first quarter, which is a good thing because it's like been the suckiest first quarter that I've ever seen since I played basketball. I always had a bad first quarter, and the other three weren't much better. So anyway, let's look at Vipshop. Why? Well, this is a retailer, and it's actually up. If you look at the 50-day moving average, this thing is like sideways, okay? Now, this is not the greatest pattern in the world. You know, you can see how it broke out, fell back to basically find some support right around the 50-day moving average. Now, it penetrated it for several days, fell below it, and then came back above it. But let's look at this in more detail. The stock came up on about average volume, maybe a little bit heavier than average volume here, and then the following day, much greater, much greater volume, yeah, here. But then ultimately it peaked, right, about 16 bucks. So this thing ran from about 12.70 up to 16 bucks in a matter of 4 days. That's 25%, and in my neighborhood, that's pretty good. And then the stock pulls back, but it doesn't test this last low. Like this last low was fine. Didn't even come close. Instead, it fell right back to the 50-day moving average and then ran up from there. Now, make no mistake, this is a really sloppy pattern. Like it's really ugly. It's bordering on fugly. But that's kind of all we have in this market right now. And so you can either stand aside completely, and there's no shame in that. There's a lot of merit in that, actually. Or you can look at a stock like Vipshop, and you look at 14 bucks as support. Now, that's a pretty wide range to be buying a stock at 15.60 and selling it at 13.90 on a percentage basis. That ain't good. But the stock will work. And so I would say if the stock breaks out above 16 bucks, that's evidence that there's some real buying coming in, particularly if it happens on heavier than average volume. So watch for a move to the upside on VIP, and you're probably going to get a nice return on this. But in this kind of market, you know, I'm not looking at the weekly chart saying, golly gee, this is great. It does look kind of good, but I'm just looking at the daily chart, and we're just kind of chipping for par here. We're just looking for a buck and a half or something like that. So anyway, that's it. Members, we're trading the open tomorrow morning, webinar format. I'm opening up the room at 9 Eastern. That's 6 Pacific time. Tomorrow morning, we'll take a look at the market. We'll look at the stocks that seem to be moving pre-market, and hopefully by, well, we'll say 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific time, we're all happy and have a little bit more money than we did when we first started, okay? That's really the goal. First day of the second quarter seems like a pretty good day to get the second quarter off to a good start, so I'll see you there.